We're going to begin, of course, with the latest from Venezuela, including big questions on what is going to happen next. That is the question. Former Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife are set to be arraigned later today. They are here in New York. They're facing a wide range of charges. So the big question now is, who is running Venezuela? President Trump says the U.S. is, quote, in charge for now, despite no official U.S. presence in that country, and the fact that Maduro's government is still largely intact.
Right now, what we want to do is fix up the oil, fix up the country, bring the country back, and then have elections.
We're also learning more about the operation early Saturday to arrest Maduro, including a report in the New York Times that dozens of Cubans and Venezuelans were killed. Trump now says American service members were injured during the raid, but no one died. As for the worldwide response, it's been mixed. Many Venezuelan exiles are celebrating, others protesting. We've got team coverage on all of this with correspondents at the White House and Venezuela's border. We begin with our chief correspondent, Matt Gutman, at the federal courthouse in Manhattan, where Nicolás Maduro and his wife will be arraigned just hours from now. Matt, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Nate. And that arraignment is the first major legal milestone for the Maduros since they were snatched from Venezuela over the weekend. Now, they are expected to plead not guilty to 4 federal charges that could net them decades in prison if convicted. In the meantime, they are being housed in one of the most notorious lockups in the United States, along with other high-profile inmates like Luigi Mangione. After that dramatic middle-of-the-night capture in Caracas, Venezuela's former leader Nicolás Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, arrived via jets, chopper, and finally motorcade in New York City. Handcuffed, wearing those slides, and flanked by drug enforcement officers Saturday, Maduro offered a cordial greeting to the agents who helped put him behind bars. Maduro is facing 4 federal charges, including conspiracy to commit narco-terrorism, conspiracy to import cocaine, and weapons possession charges. Maduro was first indicted by the Trump administration in 2020, and that indictment has now been updated with new charges and new defendants.
Maduro and his wife will soon face the full might of American justice and stand trial.
The 25-page indictment alleges Maduro and 5 others, including his wife, son, and other Venezuelan leaders, have for decades partnered with some of the most violent and prolific drug traffickers and narco-terrorists in the world to distribute tons of cocaine to the United States. In short, it's alleging he is a mob boss.
Oh, absolutely. It lays out concisely that he is a terrorist, a narco-terrorist, that he's been killing hundreds of thousands of Americans for decades.
CBS News legal analyst Caroline Polisi says Maduro will likely now be treated like any other criminal defendant, starting with today's court appearance.
It starts the clock ticking for the government to turn over any information that the government currently has to prove the guilt of the defendant.
President Trump says he has seen that evidence against Maduro.
It's both horrible and breathtaking that something like this could have been allowed to take place.
Now, Maduro is seen almost universally as a corrupt autocrat, but the question is how much evidence, and is there enough evidence pitting Maduro as a drug trafficker? There does seem to be consensus, however, that he can get a fair trial in the U.S., Gayle.
All right, Matt Gutman, first, before you say anything else, can we say welcome to CBS? It's really good to have you here. When I saw your name on the rundown, I go, today's the day. But you've got a unique perspective on this story. I actually remember this. Back in Venezuela, you've covered this country a lot. In 2016, you were detained by intelligence officials for several days. I remember in the industry we were saying, did you hear what happened to Matt Gutman? Don't want to bring up any unpleasant memories for you, but can you tell us what happened there?
Well, you reaching out to me for the first time right afterwards, and the weeks afterwards, Gayle, was one of the great things that happened, so thank you. We were basically in Venezuela to report on the kleptocracy there, on the corruption, focusing specifically on one hospital, this pediatric ward, because Maduro's regime was stealing all of the medicine in the country, literally leaving young children to die in their own hospitals. And after reporting there, locals are not allowed to do that kind of reporting. We were leaving. We were pointed out by some of the local militias. Then the local police took us in. Then the national police, finally, the secret police. We were taken to a black site. I was there for 5 days. They accused me of being a CIA spy. Obviously, that's not true. They threatened that they would keep me there for years to come. Now, I was never physically mistreated. mistreated, but right there beside me for days, I saw people who were physically mistreated. Obviously, the regime has tortured people and left people in unlawful detention for many years and killed people as well. And obviously, all of this relates to the charges here and that terrible corruption that we've seen. But one lighter note. 9 years after that happened, one of the people I worked with in Venezuela who was held with me was Carlos Beltran, a producer who he and I reunited for the first time yesterday, physically in the same space, for the first time in 9 years since we left each other and parted in that black site in Venezuela. So a pretty incredible full circle here, Gayle.
I'll say, boy, that's a nice note to the story, because I remember being very, very concerned and worried. We're glad you're okay and glad you're with us at CBS. We will be seeing more of you. Thanks a lot.
I'm so glad to be here.